Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Food shortages are real. I don't know where you live, but where I have been shopping, empty shelves are really a thing. The most concerning point is that these are inexpensive foods that a lot of people rely on as helping them meet their budget and being able to afford to buy extra food. What happens is when the dollar food is no longer available, the $2, $3 food might be your only choice, and then you are stuck paying exorbitant prices for just the basic foods that you need. That's why it's so important that you stock up on food while you can. So since I still have the opportunity to shop in the lower 48, I went to Dollar Tree. I'm still building my stockpile a little at a time. $10 a week extra of food to store and stockpile away, and any other prepping supplies that I can find that is useful. So let me show you what I picked up at Dollar Tree on this visit. Dollar Tree finally had the baby red potatoes, very few of them, but they had the Idaho and baby reds, which are my favorite. If you can find the mashed potatoes for $1.25 at Dollar Tree, that to me is a great deal, because in the regular grocery stores they're $1.57, $1.75. It probably varies where you are as well, but this is still a good price. They used to be about $1, but those days are long gone. Since they were a good deal, I bought 2 of them, because you can always use one, put one away, put them both away. When I buy extras of things like the packages of mashed potatoes, I put them away together, several of them in an airtight container, and that helps protect them from rips, tears, pinholes, and also from critters. So you want to store your food airtight in a cool, dark, dry environment. The better you store your food, the longer it's going to last, and that's the whole point. We want it to last longer. Dollar Tree had the Pioneer gravy, which is great. I hadn't ever seen it there before. I like the country style Pioneer gravy. I've ordered it before on Amazon, and it is great to make biscuits and gravy. But guess what? It's also nice over mashed potatoes. You could make a bigger, better meal, serve it with some meat that you have, some fresh vegetables, or anything frozen or canned, but having a few accoutrements to go with your basic meals help make your food taste better, stretch farther, and be more satisfying. So to go with my 2 packages of mashed potatoes, I have 1 package of gravy, and I've made this many times. I just measure it out. I only make half at a time, and then I don't have like leftover gravy that just gets wasted. I can make half of it, and then I have half to make again later. But I don't have a big family anymore, so that works for me. You may want to make the whole package or even more, depending on the size of your family. The Knorr pastas are still available at Dollar Tree, but the varieties are limited. They did have the creamy chicken. It's one of my favorites. It's simple to turn this into a bigger, better meal. You can reach into your pantry and find foods that you perhaps already have. I have on hand some cans of chicken. I can make a casserole with my Knorr creamy chicken pasta, add some of the canned chicken, make it a bigger casserole, and maybe even serve some mixed vegetables on the side. So think about the other foods that you have and how you can turn them into something. I was toying with the idea of turning it into a real creamy, chowdery soup. I could mix the noodles together, add the can of chicken, and then I could look into some of my other canned foods. For example, a can of evaporated milk. I could start creaming it up, making a nice creamy soup. Maybe stir in a can of cream of chicken, add some broth, maybe even some corn, have a nice chicken corn noodle chowder. So see how you can start adding things together, especially if you have a big family and you just have a variety of foods. I like to think about 1 can per person per meal is how I can stretch that into something bigger and better. And so I might make 1 package for 1 person, but I would want to add something else into it for 2 people. But don't start adding so much stuff and then you make a ton of food if you are a small family, because you really don't want to have unlimited leftovers. People do get tired of it. But if you have a little bit left over, you can always then try to think of something else to make it even another meal that's a little bit different. So look over the foods that you have, use your imagination, and be creative. Is every meal you create going to be the best you ever had? No, but that helps you appreciate when you really do have a good one if some of your meals are a little more mediocre. The struggle is real, but we can get through it because the next meal might be much tastier. Next, I looked at the soup aisle. They had some of the chunky soups. The first one is Campbell's Loaded Potato Soup. I could also stir in some of the mashed potatoes, some of the cans of cream of mushroom or cream of chicken soup. You can stir in different kinds of broths, other vegetables, and turn it into a bigger, better meal. There are always ways to stretch your food. Just use your imagination. You could make mashed potatoes and pour this over it. You could even take just a can of potatoes, chopped or diced potatoes, and add that in to make it even better. Or also a can of maybe creamed corn. Think about using your imagination. The other canned soup is beef barley soup. This would be great as is, or you could also serve that over your mashed potatoes. Serve it over some pasta. I don't necessarily think serving this over rice would be as tasty as adding more potatoes, but it could be worth a risk of trying it if that's the only food that you have on hand. Don't be afraid to experiment. That's how you can find out what your favorite foods are and new ways, new meals. Probably how they invented things like Reese's peanut butter cups. It seems unlikely somebody put that together on purpose, but they certainly turned out to be pretty tasty. I picked up another can of the Southgate beef stew. It isn't necessarily my favorite, but for $1.25 it's certainly a good price. How could you enhance your beef stew and make a bigger, better meal? Maybe you want to add some of your gravy mix to change the flavor. You could also serve it over some of your mashed potatoes. If you have a can of potatoes, a can of mixed vegetables, add it in. You're stretching your meals. Think about using those foods again. Be creative and try it out. And if you find something that you really like, jot it down so you remember. Think about staying hydrated. It's cold and flu season and summer is coming. Dollar Tree has restocked the Hydromate powders. They come in little envelopes that you add into water, and it adds electrolytes into the water. They had not only the adult version, but they also had some children's versions. And look, they come in 3 different flavors. Perhaps there's a flavor that your children would enjoy, or even you would enjoy if you don't care for the regular types of flavors. It's important that we have different solutions that we can add to our water. Sometimes we get bored just drinking water. We want some flavor. Or if you've ever traveled to some cities, the water just is unpalatable. So being able to add a little bit of flavor can help enhance the flavor and make it more likely that everyone in your family will then drink the water that they need to stay hydrated. And if you should become dehydrated, exercise a lot, it's very hot, or you become sick, having a hydration multiplier is going to be essential in helping you regain some of your health. So these are the 8 items that I bought for $10 at Dollar Tree. It is still possible to find things, but it's becoming more of a challenge. It's not like we can just walk in and think, oh my goodness, there's so much to choose from. What should I decide? I haven't had that luxury for a long time. I've had to really search up and down and figure out, what do they have? What can I do with it? This isn't my favorite. It wouldn't be the first choice that I would have, but it becomes the choice I make. If we can't find the things that we want, we need to pick from the foods that we can find so that we continue to add to our prepper pantry and our food storage stockpile. If you don't have a lot of dried beans and rice, pick those up at Dollar Tree. Pasta can also last for a very long time if you can find that. And then move on to filling your pantry with foods that you can just open and eat, make a meal, no matter the circumstances, so that you can keep your family going for another meal, another day, even another week or more. Leave it in the comments below. What are the challenges you're facing trying to continue prepping while food is becoming in shorter supply? It's harder to find it. Plus, for many of us, we need to stretch our budget and make those dollars go as far as possible, which is becoming much more of a challenge. I hope you'll like my video, share my video, and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.